Hello guys, I am Ninjapan. This YouTube is for the people who want to work in Japan. So I'm really happy to support you by this YouTube. So let's move to today's topic. Here we go. Okay, today's topic is, what is the proper way to learn Japanese? I think many people struggle to learn Japanese language because that language is a little special words. For me, as even Japanese native, the word is difficult to use properly. So I can guess for foreigners, the Japanese word is one of the most difficult languages in the world. So today, from HR perspective, I will recommend the better way to study Japanese language. Okay, here we go. First topic is JLPT of N1 level. What is that? JLPT is Japanese Language Proficient Test. It's like TOEIC, TOEFL, or IELTS for Japanese language. And the reason why I choose this topic firstly is most of people believe high score of JLPT is to prove the high score is highly skilled of Japanese language. Is it true? Let me explain it. And N1 level definition is the ability to understand Japanese used in a variety of circumstances. I took a test of N1 level of JLPT. JLPT of N1 is difficult for even me as Japanese native because the sentences are like newspaper or logical thinking or something difficult communication, something based on difficult communication. Also, sometimes HR in Japan relies on the score, but not always. Maybe you are curious about why it's not always. So I will show the reason why it's sometimes. And next topic is it variable for the work in Japan? It means JLPT score. The answer of the question is the reason why HR is not always to rely on the JLPT score. Let me explain the reason depending on the people's situation. For the university student, for the business person, for a person who wants to just understand Japanese language, right? Because depending on the situation, the value of JLPT is different. Lastly, for the university student. For the university student, N1 or N2 score is worse for the job in Japan. Because regarding Japanese new grads, we, means HR, do not require the knowledge of business, but do logical communication. I think this is a typical case in Japan. For Japanese new grads, they are not required to communicate as business person. It's based on the special hiring system for new grads in Japan. So JLPT can prove the logical skill and the understanding and speaking, which means if you get the high score of JLPT, HR or companies will recognize you as logical Japanese person. So For the university students, JLPT score can be useful. On the other hand, for the business person, is it variable? Actually, for the business person, JLPT may be not enough certification to show your Japanese language skill for the work. It's because JLPT focusing on the just logical communication. It's not negative that it's not enough. In the business, there are various template phrases like could you do that, or how, or are you available, or of course in Japan, of course in Japanese office, there are a lot of common phrases to use. So if you want to work in Japan, my opinion is learning the phrases should be more useful than JPLT. JPLT cannot prove the business skill for you through Japanese test. So when HR see the N1 or N2 score on your resume, we cannot decide you can work smoothly in Japanese office or not. It might be impossible. So if you want to show your Japanese language skill easily, using the business phrases in Japanese office should be practical. And the final part is for a person who want to just understand Japanese language. For them, JLPT should be the best choice to see the anime, manga, or Japanese culture. Because JLPT covers overall Japanese language skill, grammar, vocabulary, logical connection between a sentence and a sentence. So if you study JLPT, probably you can understand what anime character says or manga or written words in manga. So it should be a best choice for this person. Okay, final part is if you study JPLT for the Japanese language, it should be a practical approach to study Japanese, I think. So I can recommend JLPT to the person who want to study Japanese. However, considering the scope of working in Japan, sometimes it is inefficient because work requires a lot of skills. So not only language skill, but also communication with other colleagues, reading between lines, and of course, including technical skills. So please do not think when you get a high score of JLPT, I can outperform in work of Japan. Please do not think that. So please decide whether to use JLPT in order to study Japanese language, depending on your status or purpose. Okay, right? So this is the end of my explanation in terms of JLPT. If you get useful information through this YouTube, I'm really happy. Right. I'm looking forward to meeting you next YouTube. Thank you for listening to this movie. Bye bye.